got a special request to do a meatloaf, so I'm going to throw one together for you today and show you how to do that. I am going to start off with a half a cup of bell peppers, a half a cup of onions, and a half a cup of olive oil. We're going to put this in our saute pan and we're going to saute those until they're tender and then set those aside.
Now you might want to preheat this pan and this half a cup of oil before you add your onions and bell peppers. I didn't quite give it enough time, so they kind of sat there for a few seconds before they really started cooking. It didn't make any difference really. It's just that I think you get a better saute when you preheat your pan. And there we go. Now we're going to stir that all in.
Once these have been sauteed, then we're going to set it aside and we're going to start combining the rest of our ingredients together. I'll show you how that comes together as soon as these are done. Okay, here we are and we're getting ready to assemble this meatloaf. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to pour in our eggs. We have 2 eggs that I've beaten. I'm pouring those in there. The next is I have a half a cup of milk, and this is 2 pounds of 85/15 ground beef. You can use whatever you have on hand. If you have 80/20, if you have 93/7, that's fine. The leaner it is, of course the meatloaf is going to be a little bit drier, but this will work just fine. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're adding 1 cup of crushed Ritz crackers. Okay, 1 cup of cheddar cheese that I have shredded. This is really going to make it taste so good. You're just not going to want to do any other kind of meatloaf. Okay, and I usually add a little bit of 57 sauce to this. And you can add it if you want. You don't have to. You could put a little ketchup if you really wanted to. It's just one of those things that I happen to enjoy that flavor. Okay. Then I use about a teaspoon, well, maybe a half a teaspoon of garlic powder. And then you're going to just salt and pepper however you like. And if you like a little kick, throw in a few of these crushed red peppers. It really brings it to the next level. Like I said, if you enjoy them, then do that. If you don't, leave them out. Okay, now we're going to add our onions and bell peppers that we sauteed in that olive oil. And it may look like a lot of olive oil, but that's why we're using olive oil, because it's a healthier oil. The reason we sauteed the onions and the green peppers instead of just putting them in here raw is because it opens up the flavor of the onion and the green pepper so that you get much more of a, I don't know, it's just a better flavor. You don't get that in your face bell pepper flavor. Now I'm going to go in here with my hands. They are clean. And as you're bringing this together, you don't want to overwork it. If you overwork it, then your hamburger, it seems like it's tough, but I think we tend to worry that we're not getting it incorporated enough. But just until it's incorporated. Just don't want to overwork that, so just be real gentle with it. Kind of turn it and flip it gently. And then just when we think we have it just about right, and we're getting real close, then we're going to form it into a loaf, and we're going to put it in our loaf pan here in just a minute. That looks pretty good. Now, don't get psyched out and think you can't do this. You can do this. Trust me. If I can do it, you can do it. It took me a while to kind of figure out what I thought was the best meatloaf, and I think this one is by far. I think the cheese adds to it, the peppers, all that. It's just a wonderful taste. You got to try it. Here we go. Now we already have our oven preheated to 350, and we are going to put that in the oven at 350 for about 30 minutes. And then we're going to take it out of the oven and then we're going to put our sauce that we're going to make over the top and then put it back in for another 30 minutes. Now I'm using this really kind of neat meatloaf pan. So this comes out and then it's just super easy when you get ready to serve your meatloaf, and all of the fats and stuff drip down to the bottom of the pan. Makes it so much nicer when you get ready to serve that meatloaf, not to have to worry about any extra grease. There we go. Let me put this in the sink and then we'll get ready to move along. Okay. Now we're going to place this in the oven. So our meatloaf is now in the oven and we're going to leave it in there for 30 minutes. Then we'll come back and we're going to put the glaze on that. And it's going to be amazing. So stay tuned, you guys. We'll be right back.
Okay, so now it's time to put that glaze together. So we are using about a half a cup of ketchup. And of course it's slow coming out. So there we go. So we're going to use a half a cup of ketchup. Now you can make this as sweet as you want or tangy, whatever you prefer. And then I'm going to use about a tablespoon of just regular yellow mustard. And I'm just kind of eyeballing this. And then we're going to add some brown sugar. Now this is another thing I'm kind of eyeballing. We like ours a little sweeter, so I'm using a couple of handfuls. And I'm going to just kind of crunch that up and put that in with the ketchup mixture. Oop, there we go. It looks like a good amount there. And then we're just going to break those lumps up before we get it stirred in. I'm going to step away and wash my hands there for a second. Oh, there's the cat's play bag. So if you're wondering what that is, the cat likes to have a bag. I know. So now we're stirring that up. Just try to get all of that stirred in there as best that we can so we don't have too many lumps in there. And there it is. So this is the glaze that we're going to place over the top of our meatloaf, and it's just about time to pull that out of the oven. Okay, here we go. Right over the top, and it's starting to look good already. And the reason we don't want to put this on right in the very beginning is because we don't want it to burn. So this is not going to burn. It's just going to come out really nice and flavorful. And like I said, you can put as much of this on as you like or as little, whatever you prefer. And you can save and glaze it again just before you take it out of the oven if you want to. I think that's about enough for us. You could make another serving of it just for the table.
So it's really important, if you don't have a meat thermometer, that you go get one. When you're making meatloaf, you don't want to overcook that meatloaf because you don't want it to be like a hockey puck. So we just put that back in the oven after we put the glaze on it, and it's going to be in there for about 30-35 minutes, and I'm going to check it with the meat thermometer to make sure that we reach a temperature of at least 155 degrees. I don't want it to be more than that because we're going to pull it out, we're going to let it sit for a few minutes and rest, and it should finish cooking the rest of the way. We don't want to overcook the meatloaf. There again, we don't want a hockey puck. So that's part of the problem people get when they make meatloaf is they throw everything together, they shove it in the oven, and then they wait until it looks like it's done. By the time it probably looks like it's done to most people, it's overdone. So it turns out dry. So for the few of you who've asked me to do a meatloaf recipe, that's probably part of what your problem is. That either you're overhandling the meat or you're not checking it with a meat thermometer and you're letting it cook too long. So just kind of bear that in mind as you go. Meatloaf has to be handled kind of gently, not too much, and then make sure that you are testing the temperature. There again, we did start it at a preheated oven of 350 degrees, and we did 30 minutes in the oven, then we pulled it out, added that little glaze that we put together, and it's just ketchup, mustard, and brown sugar. And I put about half a cup of ketchup, maybe a teaspoon of mustard, some brown sugar. We like it a little bit sweeter, so I probably got about 3 tablespoons worth of brown sugar in there. Stirred it all up and then poured it over the top and spread it out. Now you can make extra of that topping and serve it on the side if you like, but there again, the key here is make sure that you are checking your temperature on your meatloaf, that it's 155 degrees, between 155, no more than 165. Otherwise you're going to get meatloaf that's really not going to be as nice as you'd like it to be. This is a great recipe for a really moist meatloaf, and I'm going to show it to you as soon as it's finished. We'll pull it out of the oven and you can take a good look at it. After we let it set for a couple minutes, we'll slice into it so you can really see what it looks like. All right. Hey guys, so if you are enjoying these videos, give me a thumbs up. That at least lets me know that, hey, you like the video. It helps me personally to know that I'm helping you guys out with this. And if you do enjoy the videos, hit that subscribe button. That helps me even more. It helps me keep track of the things that you like and things that you don't like so much. I'm always happy to get any comments that you might want to give to me. So that's it, you guys, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Okay, it's been about 35 minutes and we are going to check the temperature of this right now. See where we're at. Should be done, pretty close to being done. And it looks like it is. Check one more spot. Yep, we are there. So we have it. It is, the temperature was reading at 158. So we went ahead and took that out. And as you can see, it's looking pretty darn good. So we're going to get ready to slice this thing up and show you just how nice it's turned out. And there you have it. It's a really tender and flavorful meatloaf. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hit that subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up. You guys have a great day.